Hey everybody, welcome to One More Round with Josh Norris. I'm excited to have Kyle with me, Kyle McAnaugh. So Kyle obtained a 2-year business degree at GCC and a real estate license. He started in real estate when he was 19 years old, helped use those funds and his parents' entrepreneurship mindset to create Junk Rescue. The company is 5 years strong. They service the Scottsdale and Phoenix area with junk removal, dumpster rental, demolition work, and they are currently hiring and looking to scale into a larger private trash company. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. So you're a young dude.
Yeah, 27, going on 28 in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you always know you wanted to own your own business growing up?
I was an early entrepreneur. I always like selling stuff around the house, whether I could get my hands on whatever and do garage sales, eBay. I was pretty big on that in high school. So yeah, I think once I got into real estate and kind of saw the business side of the world, I was like, yeah, this is for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What attracted you to real estate?
It was actually by accident. Me and my two best friends went to community college. We couldn't really afford like ASU or U of A at the time, and so we had a local community college that was close to us, and we actually the admin person that helps you set up your courses and stuff like that said, hey, real estate's an option. You can do the course and then you can test for actually getting the license once you finish the course. And we actually all did that together. And once we passed, that, we were like, hey, we have a license. Let's go put it to use and sell some houses. So
cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Definitely a good experience. Got pretty good knowledge in real estate space and all that. So yeah.
How did that benefit you before starting your junk removal company?
It allowed us to, myself acquire some funds and stuff and put that into the new business and just relationship, talking with people and being able to communicate and, experience ups and downs and kind of get that, checklist off my boat there before getting into the trash business. So
nice.
Yeah.
So why did you choose the trash business?
Same thing, kind of by accident. My parents have been in construction for a while. We kind of put our heads together on, hey, there's opportunity here for, people that when they're either closing on their house, there's belongings left behind, people that rent their real estate, abandon, the property and leave stuff behind, or maybe they're just ordering new furniture and they want to get rid of the old stuff. So they were able to help me get my own truck and kind of start that. That was 5 years ago now. Now we're up to 3 trucks, multiple dumpsters, and kind of took it on, and now it's a bigger thing than what we expected. So
yeah, the trash business is a good business to be in. My in-laws, surprisingly, they operated landfills in Kern County, California for 30 years.
Oh wow, yeah, that's good space.
Yeah, engineering firm, and really they competed against Waste Management.
Yeah,
for
like
all
those
of us, years.
Yeah.
What's that like being a smaller company competing against some of these big dogs?
Yeah, for sure. The Waste Management and Republics of the world don't really have a lot of interest in what we do. We're more in-house junk removal, coming into the home and taking care of the customer directly. They're looking for the contracted business, whether that's like a curbside pickup or a dumpster long-term rental or something like that. So we're kind of not really on their radar until you kind of scale and get into the bigger dumpsters, into the contract work, and then they might want to come along and see what you're up to. So
yeah, take you out.
Yeah, and that's happened. We've seen that in this space. There's a lot of good local companies that have built in the past 4 to 5 years, and actually recently got purchased by a company called Waste Connections. So they're the third down from after Waste Management and Republic. So It does exist. It does happen. Might be something in our retrospect here eventually. So
yeah, is that the goal, to sell it?
Yeah, we'd like to either franchise or sell. There's kind of a couple different avenues that we're pondering on at the time. I think at this point in the business, it's kind of just being able to have a successful company. Most people start a business, they don't last past a year, and we've been 5 years here now, and so it's really getting to the point where it's like, hey, what direction do you want to take it and where do you want to go with it? So yeah.
Now, being 27, I think you mentioned that you're not married, don't have any kids.
No, sir.
You got a girlfriend. I mean, has that been a benefit to you, being able to just focus on on work and growing your company?
100%. Yeah. Being able to kind of go all in on that. There's a few entrepreneurs I work with that are married and have families and stuff, and they talk about how, it can be hard doing the balance situation. But I think those people realize that balance doesn't exist in business, and they like the, animosity and all that stuff. So they're, it's whether your mindset's there to, take it on or not.
Yeah, I think some people do thrive in chaos.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I do. I love it. I don't like balance whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. So what are some of the keys being a young person like yourself in business that you think give you an advantage over someone who's a little older and been doing it a while?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a big thing. I remember in real estate when I started, it was like, well, you're 19, you're so young, you don't know anything about the business. There's realtors that have been doing it for, X amount of years and stuff like that. But it just gives you the opportunity to, try and put your foot in the game and show that, hey, you can make an impact, you can be different. Maybe I am young, but not everyone has the same, retrospect or energy that I have, or thoughts or systems. So I think it all comes down to the individual and your first impressions and kind of how you make an impact on that person. And at the end of the day, whether it's a trash business, real estate, whatever, the goal is to help the person with their problem and providing a solution. And if you can do that for someone, then you're golden.
So is that some of the advice you'd give a brand new person getting in business themselves, or what are some pieces of advice that you'd give them?
Totally. I would try and find some stuff that, you may see in your lifestyle that's like an issue that other people are, having too. And it's like, hey, is that something that maybe we could, create and develop and put out to the open market and people would utilize that? I'm a big fan of like running your numbers and making sure that, hey, maybe this business sounds really cool and great. Well, let's break it down. Let's run the numbers, because at the end of the day, everyone's in it to, have a lifestyle, make money, and be able to pass that down to their family. So I think at the end of the day, really make sure you run your numbers. It makes sense. It's something that you can create either to sell or scale, because otherwise you're just kind of becoming an employee at that point, working for yourself every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are some of the breakthrough moments you've had in your businesses? Because I know there's probably been a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
A couple things that stand out for you?
Couple things. We've been really blessed along the way. Every year you've scaled and grown, whether it's with trucks or staffing or stuff like that. But I would say, in the last year is more so like the people, kind of just getting down to, at the end of the day, we're a transportation business. We take the, trash from one spot to the next. And so I've realized that we're in the transportation business and we're in the people business, those two things. And so I would say, really getting the prime people in your company. I listen to the podcast Dropping Bombs by Brad Lee a lot. That's one of my favorite. Yeah, he's really good and down to earth. And he talks about, the stallions and the turkeys. And, it's a lot better to have, a few stallions and really progress to get those stallions in your company than let them be surrounded by a bunch of turkeys, because over time they realize, hey, I'm surrounded by a bunch of turkeys. There's really not a whole lot of it in here for me. Everyone's created and equal, and they want to be separated. They want to be different. They want to strive and help make an impact on your company. And so those are the people that we're looking for. So I would say maybe one of the struggles is like finding your stallions. Like that takes some time. And you will find them, but it's important.
When you find them, how do you keep them?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Is I think bringing them into the element. A lot of people want to know how the business works and the fundamentals and stuff like that. Providing incentives to the staffing. Whether that's offering programs where they can dump money into the company and get some back at the end of the year. Offering insurance, things that are just viable and that people need. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to provide as much as you can, but the small business can only give so much. A lot of these people want, X, Y, and Z, and then you see a lot of these small businesses offering that, and then 2-3 years down the line, they're not in business anymore because, they can't afford to even support themselves because they've, just distributed everything to their staff and people below them. So,
yeah, it's important to make a profit.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, otherwise you're kind of just working to, work, I guess, right? And at the end of the day, the money and that's the thing is a lot of people say, hey, life's not about money and this, but money creates opportunities for you and allows you to do freedoms and separate yourself,
Yeah. Well,
So
money provides shelter.
it does. We're here today.
Food.
You have this space, it costs money to have a rent here and do this and all that. And
nothing wrong with money. I think it's, I probably Brad Lee or somebody who's like, it's a tool like anything else. It's going to make good people better or bad people worse.
Yep.
But it's just a tool.
It's just totally a tool, yeah.
And I'd rather have more of it than less of it.
Yeah, I think that's like, I think he says that too, is like, hey, I've been rich, happy, and I've been, poor, happy, and I'd rather be rich, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
So
it's awesome. So what are the goals here in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I'd say we're going to try and really scale our dumpster side of it. So we just got into the dumpster rental side about a year ago. They're mini dumpsters. They fit in your driveway, and they're more designed for like the residential, customer that's maybe cleaning out their garage for the weekend or, doing some yard work or something. Just they want something there to, as they're doing it, they can throw it into the can. It's also appealing. It doesn't look like a big, giant, broken 40-yard dumpster in their driveway. So scaling those, we're up to 9 of those now. We'll have 15 by the end of the month, and we're really trying to just push that and get those out there just because it allows us to kind of let the customer do it if they want to, and then we can also offer the full service side too. So with the dumpsters, it's kind of about volume at the end of the day, and so the more of those we have, the better.
Awesome. So how does that work? Do they go to your website to order that? Or?
Yeah, so we have our website, and I would say for anyone looking to get in business, like really invest in your website. That's your presence. People are going to go there first and kind of check you out and make sure you're credible, you have good reviews, stuff like that. So we're big on having a good website. We have an online booking system for our junk removal side, and we're working on that for our dumpsters. That way you could just go on your phone right now. Let's say you want to do some weekend yard work, and you just book your dumpster on your phone right there, and then by the end of the day it's in your driveway. It's simple. Less is more with that. You don't have to call and kind of talk to someone unless you have questions. We're there and able to do that for you. But maybe you're someone that's done it before and you're experienced in that, and you can just order it and make it easy for yourself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, and where else do you serve in the valley?
We're primarily in North Phoenix and North Scottsdale. Okay. We have 3 locations on the Google Maps where you can find us, but we're primarily up in this side. But we work with a lot of local junk removal companies, so if we don't serve your side of the town, we can definitely recommend someone.
Awesome. Yeah, one thing that's interesting to me, because I used to be the youngest person in every room. It seemed like not anymore. 38, not the youngest, but I remember back when I was in my early 20s, and I had a pretty good management position, doing a lot of marketing for a health club chain out here.
Okay.
But I was young. I was 21, and the district manager of another company sat me down, and he was only 26 at the time, but he was district manager. Everybody that worked for him was older. Yeah. And it was kind of intimidating for me. I'm like, people are starting to work for me. Yeah. I'm young. The hell do I know? Yeah. What has helped you manage people
being so young?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think it's just kind of how you hold yourself and like your standards and what you really want to put out there for your company or your business. We're really big on guest satisfaction and making sure that we're delivering a good experience. So whether I'm, 10 years old or 100 years old, anyone can really correlate with that and say, hey, these are our standards inside the business. And, if that works for you and you think you can deliver that, then you'd be a good fit for us. If not, if you're not a really good people person and you don't like putting a smile on the face and don't have a good attitude, then you're not a good fit for us. I think it's just really about being upfront with people and finding those stallions and really putting out what you have to offer and see if that's something that correlates with their lifestyle and what they want to do, and they'll jump on with you.
Yeah, no, I like that, having very clear values and then also clear expectations.
Yeah, totally.
When you do that, age doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No. Matter of, did you meet this criteria?
Can you deliver? At the end of the day, whether you're what age or older or younger, can you deliver? Can you do it properly?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. My partner John, so he does all our hiring in our IV company, and I had never formally been trained on hiring. I mean, if you saw a lot of my interviews, and I've had dozens and dozens of people work for me, right? They're all pretty casual. Yeah. So he comes in, and he's got this checklist, and it's a full page, but it's about 20 questions, and he never deviates. He
Yep.
goes through the whole deal,
Yep.
and then he tells me why. I'm looking for the psychological profile of this person. I'm looking for,
Totally.
do they want to meet these criteria?
Yeah.
And I know if I answer all of these or ask all these questions,
Yeah.
I'm going to really understand whether that person can fulfill it.
Yep.
And they're going to tell me yes, 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 yes on these things that are very important before they ever come to work. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God, that makes so much sense.
Totally.
And I was very lucky. I hired a lot of good people prior, but
Yeah.
now like I can't do an interview without having like that checklist.
Yeah. Kind of one of those things. Once you see it, then you like it. You're like, you can't go without it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So what are like some of your main standards? Because you mentioned you're hiring.
Yeah.
I mean, what does a good employee look like?
Totally. Yeah. We're looking for anyone anywhere from 18 to all the way up to in their 50s. We have people that are older that drive for us, and then younger people that do the day-to-day labors and stuff like that. I'm looking for people that are go-getters. Have a good personality, a good attitude, like anybody looking for someone inside their business. At the end of the day, I think I'm looking for people that are interested on how a small business works and why it's important to have small business inside the world and United States and stuff like that, and kind of develop a culture. So someone that's really looking to maybe grow over time and also be able to deviate from the specific corporate, like, hey, this is what you're doing every day. Hey, every day is not going to be the same in small business. Got to be able to be flexible and move around and kind of divert from the plan sometimes. So I think we're looking for someone that's flexible, on time, and integrated into the small business space.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's super important. Like things like attitude, you just can't teach.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of skills and stuff you can teach, and
Yeah.
Shore people up after they've been on,
Yeah.
board with you. What does that look like coming on board? I mean, do they get pretty good training and stuff with you?
Yeah, totally. Our space is pretty simplified, so we try and keep it as simple as possible from the get-go. And then as you start to develop in the business, then it's like, hey, there's some, tips and tricks that maybe we didn't give you right away because it wasn't necessary. So we'll kind of keep it simple from the get-go and give them whether they're going to be a laborer or a driver or an office manager, something like that. Each position has its different key aspects and retrospects and stuff like that. But we try and make sure that they have the guidelines and tools. That way they don't feel uncomfortable in their setup.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, you're growing. It seems like your business is continuing to thrive, which is awesome. Are there any books, podcasts you mentioned, Dropping Bombs, or anything that you would recommend people reading?
Totally. Man, I have one of my best friends, Jack Walker. He's like, we went to school together, and, we were never big readers and stuff like that. I'm not really a big reader right now either. I have probably, 100 books, and I, skim through a couple chapters, and then I'm like, move on to the next one or whatever. Yeah. So I'd like to get better on the reading palette. He's really good. He does, probably a book a month, and I could tell that it's helped his vocabulary and his mindset in business. So I think reading is super important. But I'm more of a visual listener and stuff like that. So, I like Dropping Bombs. I'm a big Grant Cardone fan, not primarily because of, who he is or what he does, but because of his real estate portfolios and how he creates passive income for him and his family and how that's important. And then, just local entrepreneurs in town, like you guys, Ryan with Tint 360. There's a company that we work with, a moving company called Doe's Moving. They just sold a few months ago.
Yeah, Marley and
Pat, yeah. And so small businesses that you can locally get in with and maybe take some information from them and learn and get experience, like that brings just as much value as like, hey, everyone thinks like, I got to listen to like Andy Frisella or Ed Milet and, like I'll be the best next entrepreneur. It's like, no, go in your local space, find the people around you, learn from them, because you can get, in their office every day, where like, if I want to get in Andy's or Ed's office, I'm probably going to have to pay a high fee or really climb the ladder. And not to say that you can't do that, but, try the small stuff before you jump for the big leaps.
I think that's a really good point. So I'm part of the Arte Syndicate with Andy and
great guys, yeah.
Ed. I mean, great guys, a lot of learning. And they have like their summit that's coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to make this next one, but it is. It's an investment.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
And now it can absolutely transform people's businesses. To your point, though, if you're sitting down with someone that's local in this area, owns a business, navigates the same thing we navigate, being local here, there's a certain value to that.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
who should I go to for financing of this project?
Yeah.
Who should I be looking for human resources in our area?
Totally.
Because Arizona laws are different.
Yeah.
So I think that's super
No,
smart.
yeah, it's true, and you're dead on with that. It's important.
Awesome, man. So how can people find you online? And
yeah, we're Junk Rescue AZ. So Junk Rescue AZ for the Instagram, for the Facebook, for pretty much all our platforms. 480-719-0611. That's our direct line. We pretty much haul any type of junk or trash that you have. And yeah, I mean, if you look junk removal up in Phoenix or Scottsdale, you'll find us. We'll come up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you have any other specific asks of our audience? Any way we can help you?
No, I really appreciate you having me on today and kind of picking my brain and asking us some questions and stuff like that. And I think it'll bring value to others. And that's a big thing is I think being an entrepreneur is like there's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be things that you're kind of stressed out about and you don't know, but it's kind of like your local market and having people that do it too, that be able to reach out to and, kind of talk to and be creative. But it's also one of those things where, you don't have to run everything by everyone. You have a goal, a mission, just start doing it. Just put your face out there, just go, because otherwise, by the time you've pondered on it and thought about it, the guy next to you, started
7 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, and be careful who you tell stuff to too, because people are like, oh, that's a great idea, I'm going to do that, and you're like, oh, they just took my thing, and you're like, so, keep it within yourself, but also, reach out for help if you need it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not for everyone, but I love it. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on today. Hey guys, I know you got some stuff out of this, so make sure to leave a comment. Go ahead and find Kyle online, and follow them there. If you guys need any sort of removal services, make sure to utilize them. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time.